If you are over 60, your body does not need harder workouts. It needs smarter movement. In Japan, one of the longest living countries in the world, elders don't rely on gyms or intense routines. Instead, many practice gentle bedtime movements that improve circulation, protect joints, calm the nervous system, and support deep sleep. Tonight, I'll show you 5 simple movements commonly practiced by older adults in Japan that help maintain mobility, balance, and longevity. No equipment, no strain, just daily consistency. Let's begin. In the quiet countryside of Japan, where life expectancy quietly surpasses much of the modern world, something remarkable happens every night that almost no one talks about. There are no expensive recovery devices, no supplements stacked beside the bed, no high-intensity evening workouts. Instead, many older adults lie down, lift their legs slightly, and begin a movement so small it seems almost meaningless. They gently point their toes away and then pull them back, over and over again. Ankle pumps, a motion so simple that most people dismiss it, and yet this quiet ritual may be one of the most underestimated longevity tools after the age of 60. As we grow older, circulation becomes one of the most fragile systems in the body. Blood does not move with the same efficiency it once did. Veins lose elasticity, valves weaken, the calf muscles, which once contracted powerfully with every step, become less active, especially in individuals who sit for long periods. What most people don't realize is that the calf muscle is often referred to in medical physiology as the body's second heart. Every time it contracts, it compresses deep veins in the lower leg and pushes blood upward against gravity, back toward the heart. When this mechanism weakens, blood begins to pool in the lower extremities. Swelling increases, night cramps become more frequent. The risk of venous insufficiency rises. In more serious cases, prolonged stagnation of blood can contribute to clot formation. Research in vascular medicine has shown that simple, repetitive ankle flexion significantly improves venous return and reduces lower limb edema, particularly in sedentary older adults. One clinical observation found that even 1 minute of active ankle movement increased blood flow velocity in the deep veins. Think about that. 60 seconds of movement can change the speed of circulation in aging legs. And yet most people over 60 go to bed completely still, allowing gravity and immobility to slow their blood through the night. During sleep, heart rate decreases, blood pressure drops, circulation naturally becomes more sluggish. For a young person with resilient vessels, this is rarely a problem. But after 60, when arteries stiffen and veins lose tone, that nighttime stagnation can contribute to morning stiffness, numbness, and that heavy sensation in the legs so many older adults accept as normal aging. It is not simply aging, it is reduced movement. In longevity-focused regions like Okinawa, elders often integrate subtle physical rituals into daily life. They do not wait for structured workouts. They weave circulation-supporting habits into ordinary moments. The ankle pump before bed is one of those habits. It requires no flexibility, no strength, no balance, only intention. When you point your toes downward, the gastrocnemius and soleus muscles contract. When you pull them back towards your body, those same muscles engage in reverse. This alternating contraction creates a pumping effect that assists venous valves in moving blood upward. It also stimulates lymphatic flow. Unlike the circulatory system, the lymphatic system has no central pump like the heart. It depends almost entirely on muscle movement. Without movement, lymph fluid can stagnate, contributing to inflammation and swelling. For older adults, maintaining lymphatic flow is critical for immune health. Inflammation is one of the silent accelerators of aging. Chronic low-grade inflammation has been linked to cardiovascular disease, joint degeneration, cognitive decline, and metabolic disorders. Gentle, repetitive ankle motion may seem trivial, but physiologically, it activates one of the most important mechanical drivers of fluid balance in the lower body. There is another hidden benefit that most people overlook. Muscle contraction improves endothelial function. The endothelium is the thin inner lining of blood vessels, responsible for regulating dilation and constriction. With age, endothelial function declines, increasing the risk of hypertension and vascular stiffness. Studies show that even low-intensity muscular activity enhances nitric oxide production, supporting vessel flexibility. That means something as simple as ankle pumping can indirectly support vascular health at the microscopic level. And then there are the night cramps. If you are over 60, you likely know them well. Sudden, painful tightening in the calf that wakes you from sleep. These cramps are often linked to poor circulation, electrolyte imbalance, and neuromuscular instability. Regular pre-sleep ankle movement increases blood flow and gently warms the muscles, reducing the likelihood of sudden contraction during the night. Many elders who practice this ritual report fewer cramps and less morning tightness. But beyond the physical mechanisms lies something deeper. The act of intentional movement before sleep sends a message to the brain. It says, "I am caring for this body." That message reduces stress. Stress hormones like cortisol disrupt sleep architecture and impair tissue repair. Gentle rhythmic movement activates parasympathetic pathways, preparing the body for rest. It is not exercise in the conventional sense. It is circulation meditation. And perhaps that is why it works so powerfully in cultures that value slow, mindful living. Consider this. Prolonged sitting has been called the new smoking in public health discussions. After retirement, many adults sit for more than 8 hours a day. Television, reading, meals, conversations, all done seated. The calf pump remains inactive for much of the day. Over time, this contributes to decreased vascular efficiency, but the body is remarkably responsive to even small corrections. 1 minute of ankle pumping before bed can counteract hours of immobility. It is not dramatic, it will not trend on social media, but it addresses one of the most overlooked drivers of aging physiology: stagnation. Blood must move, lymph must flow, muscles must contract. Without these, tissues receive less oxygen, waste products accumulate, recovery slows. When older adults in Japan perform this movement nightly, they are not following a viral fitness trend. They are honoring a biological principle. Motion sustains life. You do not need to stand. You do not need to strain. You do not need to risk falling or overexertion. You lie down. You move your feet. You assist your circulation. You prepare your body for restorative sleep, and consistency compounds. Night after night, week after week, the vascular system remains more responsive. Swelling decreases. Morning heaviness fades. Sleep improves. These changes are subtle at first, but aging itself is subtle. It happens slowly, and so does protection against it. The tragedy is not that this movement is difficult. The tragedy is that it is ignored. People search for complex solutions while overlooking foundational physiology. If you are over 60, your body does not demand intensity. It demands circulation. It demands oxygen. It demands gentle reminders that it is still in motion. Tonight, before you close your eyes, lift your legs slightly. Point your toes away from you. Then pull them back. Feel the calves engage. Feel the blood respond. Do it slowly. Do it deliberately. 60 seconds. That is all. In a world obsessed with extreme fitness and dramatic transformations, the most powerful intervention may be the quietest one. And sometimes longevity begins not with a marathon, but with a simple movement of the feet. Tonight, as millions of people over the age of 60 lie down in discomfort, there is a quiet movement that has the power to release years of hidden pressure from the spine. It is not dramatic. It requires no strength. It makes no noise. And yet, this single motion can temporarily decompress the lower back, stimulate digestion, and calm the nervous system in ways modern medicine fully understands but rarely emphasizes. In homes across Japan, many elders gently pull one knee toward the chest before sleep. They hold it, they breathe. And in that small act, they reverse one of the most underestimated consequences of aging: spinal compression. After the age of 30, the intervertebral discs in your spine begin to lose hydration. By 60, disc height can be significantly reduced. This is not speculation. MRI studies confirm progressive disc degeneration with age, even in people without pain. The lumbar spine, which carries the weight of your upper body every time you sit, stand, or walk, is especially vulnerable. Gravity presses down on it all day. Hours of sitting compress it further. Over decades, that compression accumulates like invisible weight, and many older adults go to bed each night without ever releasing it. When you lie on your back and slowly draw one knee toward your chest, something remarkable happens. The lumbar spine gently flexes. The vertebral spaces open slightly. pressure inside the discs decreases. Research in spinal biomechanics shows that flexion-based movements can temporarily reduce intradiscal pressure, giving the nerves and surrounding tissues relief. For someone who has lived 60 or 70 years under the constant load of gravity, even temporary decompression can feel profound. It is not about forcing flexibility, it is about allowing space. Lower back pain is one of the leading causes of disability worldwide. In adults over 60, it is among the most common reasons for limited mobility. Yet many cases are not caused by catastrophic injury. They are caused by chronic stiffness, muscular tension, and sustained compression. The knee-to-chest movement directly addresses these factors. As the thigh approaches the abdomen, the lumbar extensor muscles lengthen. Tight paraspinal muscles begin to relax. The pelvis gently tilts posteriorly, flattening excessive lumbar arch that often develops from prolonged sitting. This tilt alone can reduce strain on facet joints, which commonly become arthritic with age. But the spine is only part of the story. When the knee presses lightly toward the chest, it also compresses the abdominal cavity. This mechanical pressure stimulates the digestive organs. Studies in gastroenterology have shown that gentle abdominal compression and movement can promote peristalsis, the wave-like contractions that move food through the intestines. Constipation affects nearly 1/3 of older adults. Reduced activity, dehydration, medication side effects, and slowed gut motility all contribute. A simple pre-sleep knee hug can subtly stimulate the colon, supporting more regular bowel movements without laxatives. It is not magic, it is anatomy. There is another layer most people overlook: the nervous system. Chronic lower back discomfort keeps the body in a low-grade stress response. Even mild, persistent pain increases sympathetic nervous system activity. That means elevated heart rate, shallow breathing, and fragmented sleep. When you bring your knee toward your chest and hold it gently for 10 to 15 seconds, breathing slowly, you send signals of safety to the brain. Slow movement plus controlled breathing activates parasympathetic pathways. Heart rate begins to slow. Muscles release further. Cortisol levels begin to drop. This is not theoretical. Research on relaxation-based stretching demonstrates measurable reductions in stress markers when movements are slow and breath-coordinated. In longevity-centered regions like Okinawa, elders prioritize daily rituals that preserve mobility. They do not chase extreme flexibility. They protect functional range of motion. The knee-to-chest movement supports hip mobility as well. After 60, hip flexors often become tight from years of sitting. When one knee is drawn upward, the opposing hip gently extends, reducing asymmetrical tension in the pelvis. Balanced hips reduce uneven loading on the spine during walking, and walking, as simple as it sounds, is one of the strongest predictors of independence in older age. Consider the silent progression of spinal stenosis, a condition where spaces within the spine narrow and place pressure on nerves. It becomes increasingly common with age. While severe cases require medical management, mild forms often respond positively to flexion-based positions because bending forward temporarily widens spinal canals. Many people with lumbar stenosis report relief when leaning forward slightly. The knee-to-chest position mimics this relief safely while lying down. It is gentle spinal insurance. And then there is sleep. Deep sleep is when growth hormone peaks, when tissue repair accelerates, when the brain clears metabolic waste through the glymphatic system. But discomfort disrupts deep sleep cycles. If your lower back tightens as you lie still, you toss and turn. Micro-awakenings increase. You wake unrefreshed. A 30-second decompression before bed can improve sleep continuity simply by reducing mechanical irritation. Improved sleep then enhances pain tolerance the following day, creating a powerful cycle of recovery. Some people fear movement after 60. They worry about fragility. They avoid bending. Yet controlled, pain-free flexion maintains tissue elasticity. Connective tissue adapts to the stresses placed upon it. When it is never moved through safe ranges, it stiffens further. Gentle repetition preserves glide between fascial layers. It keeps joints nourished. Synovial fluid circulates with movement. Without movement, joints starve. The emotional component cannot be ignored. Aging often feels like loss. Loss of strength, loss of flexibility, loss of resilience. But when you lie down and intentionally draw your knee toward your chest, you reclaim agency. You remind your body that it can still move fluidly. You replace fear with controlled action. That psychological shift reduces pain perception itself. Studies in pain science confirm that expectation and emotional state significantly influence how pain signals are processed in the brain. The beauty of this movement is its accessibility. You do not need balance. You do not need equipment. You are already lying down. You simply lift one knee. You hold it gently. You breathe slowly. Then you switch sides. 3 repetitions each, less than 3 minutes. And yet those minutes may prevent years of accumulated stiffness. Imagine decades of gravity pressing downward, of chairs shaping your posture, of tension stored in deep spinal muscles. Now imagine releasing that pressure nightly. Not aggressively, not forcefully, just consistently. Small decompressions add up. Mobility preserved today becomes independence preserved tomorrow. Tonight, before sleep claims you, lie on your back. Draw one knee toward your chest. Feel the lower spine widen. Feel the muscles soften. Breathe deeply, then change sides. In that quiet moment, you are not simply stretching. You are counteracting gravity. You are stimulating digestion. You are calming your nervous system. You are protecting your future mobility. And sometimes, the difference between aging in pain and aging in strength begins with a single, gentle embrace of your own knee. As night falls and the body prepares for rest, there is a silent tension many people over 60 carry into bed without realizing it, a tension wound deep within the spine, the abdomen, and the nervous system built from decades of stress, gravity, and unfinished exhalations. In countless homes across Japan, elders perform a movement so gentle it looks almost insignificant, yet its physiological impact reaches from the vertebrae to the brain itself. They lie on their backs, draw one knee upward, and allow it to fall slowly across the body into a soft spinal twist. No force, no strain, just rotation, and in that rotation something extraordinary begins to happen. The human spine was designed to rotate. Each vertebra in the thoracic region is structured to allow twisting, yet modern life restricts it. Hours of sitting stiffen the mid-back. Aging compounds this stiffness as intervertebral discs lose hydration and connective tissues lose elasticity. Studies in biomechanics show that thoracic rotation decreases significantly with age, and reduced rotation is strongly associated with balance issues and fall risk. When rotation disappears, compensation begins. The lower back bears forces it was not designed to handle. Pain emerges quietly, mobility narrows, independence slowly erodes. The gentle supine twist directly counters that process. As the knee crosses the midline, the spine rotates segment by segment. The paraspinal muscles lengthen asymmetrically. Facet joints glide. Connective tissue layers rehydrate through movement. Research demonstrates that controlled spinal rotation improves joint nutrition by enhancing synovial fluid exchange. Joints do not have a direct blood supply. They rely on movement to receive nutrients. Without rotation, those structures starve slowly over time. But the benefits do not stop at mobility. When the torso rotates, the abdominal organs are compressed and released in a rhythmic pattern. This mechanical ringing effect stimulates digestive activity. After 60, digestion often slows. Gastric emptying takes longer. Peristalsis weakens. Bloating and constipation become common complaints. Gastrointestinal studies confirm that gentle trunk movement can enhance intestinal motility. A twist before bed is not merely stretching, it is subtle internal massage for the colon, liver, and stomach. There is a deeper layer, one that cannot be seen on an X-ray. The nervous system responds profoundly to rotation combined with slow breathing. Chronic stress keeps the sympathetic nervous system activated, elevating heart rate and maintaining muscle tension. Many older adults carry this tension into the night, which fragments sleep and suppresses deep restorative cycles. When you lie down and allow your knee to fall across your body, keeping your shoulders grounded, you create a position of safety. Slow exhalation in this posture stimulates the vagus nerve, the master regulator of parasympathetic calm. Heart rate begins to drop, blood pressure softens, muscles release further. Research in autonomic physiology shows that gentle rotational stretches combined with controlled breathing can measurably increase heart rate variability, a marker strongly associated with resilience and longevity. In longevity-focused regions such as Okinawa, elders often incorporate subtle spinal movements into their daily lives. They do not separate exercise from existence. They understand that movement is maintenance. The twist is part of that maintenance. It protects the thoracic spine, which plays a critical role in breathing mechanics. When the mid-back stiffens, rib mobility decreases. Shallow breathing follows. Shallow breathing reduces oxygen exchange efficiency. Over time, reduced oxygenation contributes to fatigue and diminished tissue repair. By maintaining thoracic mobility through gentle twisting, lung expansion improves. Oxygen delivery supports every organ. There is also compelling evidence linking spinal mobility to cognitive health. Reduced physical movement correlates with reduced cerebral blood flow. While twisting alone is not a cure for cognitive decline, movement in general increases circulation, including to the brain. Each gentle rotation enhances overall blood flow dynamics. The body is an integrated system. Circulation improved in one region benefits the whole. Shockingly, falls are one of the leading causes of injury-related death in adults over 65. Limited trunk rotation has been identified as a predictor of impaired balance recovery. When you trip, your body instinctively rotates to regain stability. If that rotational capacity is lost, recovery fails. The nightly twist is not merely about comfort, it is rehearsal for resilience. It preserves the neuromuscular pathways that help you react when it matters most. Pain science offers another revelation. Persistent stiffness increases nociceptive sensitivity, meaning the nervous system becomes more reactive to minor stimuli. Gentle rotational movement reduces this sensitivity by providing non-threatening sensory input. This concept, known as graded exposure, is supported by modern pain research. When the brain experiences safe movement, it recalibrates its alarm signals. The twist becomes a message. Movement is safe. Consider what happens during sleep. During deep sleep, the glymphatic system clears metabolic waste from the brain. Efficient circulation supports this process. Gentle movement before bed enhances overall vascular dynamics, potentially contributing to more restorative sleep cycles. Better sleep improves immune function, memory consolidation, and hormonal balance. It is a cascade effect initiated by something deceptively simple. Emotionally, the twist represents surrender. You allow gravity to guide the knee downward. You release control. In a culture that often glorifies force and intensity, this softness feels radical. Yet softness is precisely what aging tissues require. Force can inflame, gentleness restores. Picture decades of accumulated rigidity slowly dissolving through nightly rotation. Picture waking with less stiffness, less heaviness. Picture walking with slightly more ease. These changes are incremental, but aging itself is incremental. The protective habits must mirror that rhythm. Tonight, lie on your back, draw one knee upward, let it fall slowly across your body. Keep your shoulders grounded, breathe deeply, feel the spine rotate, feel the abdomen compress gently, stay there for 20 seconds, then switch sides. In those quiet moments, you are nourishing joints, stimulating digestion, calming your heart, and preserving the rotational capacity that protects you from falls. The world often looks for dramatic solutions to aging, yet longevity cultures remind us that biology responds faithfully to small, consistent inputs. The twist is not dramatic, it is deliberate. And in that deliberateness lies power. Because sometimes the difference between stiffness and suppleness, between restless nights and restorative sleep, between fragility and fluidity, begins with a single gentle rotation of the spine.